series, where today we're going to be doing something a little unusual. No board games for you tonight, but instead we're going to be looking at something a bit different. We're still going to be raiding that attic, but beyond the dusty cobwebs, the lost valley of the dinosaurs, and escape from Atlantis. We're going to be checking out pop-up books. Anyone who's seen my channel before should know I'm a bit of a fan of board games with unusual gimmicks and clever mechanisms, so it should come as no big surprise that I'm also a fan of paper engineering and clever pop-up mechanisms. And of course, I love all things spooky and creepy. So this series of pop-up books by Keith Mosley is a perfect storm for me. Now, of course, there are a lot of pop-up books with creepy, spooky themes on the market, but these really speak to my heart, or what's left of it. The illustrations are beautiful in a macabre way, in a form that's quite unusual for children's books. There's definitely a lot more blood and decapitations than your usual fare for kiddies, and that's what makes me love it so much. I was maybe a bit of an unusual child, but obviously not that unusual, since there seems to be a whole series of books for boys like me. Unlike some spooky pop-up books, which are far more cartoony, these have a realism and a grit to them that really captures the soul and fires the imagination. So, without further ado, let's take a look at one of the books. Ghosts of Creepy Castle, a mini spooky pop-up book. This is one of a series of 4 spooky pop-up books which were created by Keith Mosley, and as you can see, this one says it's one of the mini versions. Here is one of the other 4 that I have, Some Bodies in the Attic, and as you can see, it's a much bigger book than this one. I didn't actually realise that this one was a miniature version because I got it online and it was listed without a photograph, and it was actually listed wrong because it didn't say it was a mini version, but I managed to get it really cheaply, so I'm not that bothered. This one is a part of the series of 4 books which Keith Mosley created. Other titles include The Things in Mouldy Manor, The Ghosts of Creepy Castle, that's this one, Some Bodies in the Attic, the one that I just compared with the sizes, and The Door Under the Stairs. This was originally written and brought out in 1988, but this miniature version, this mini pop-up one, came out in 1994. Beware the ghosts of Creepy Castle. They'll cause you to shiver and shake with fright when you open the pages of this mysterious pop-up book. Hauntingly clever pop-ups guide you through chilling dungeons, spooky towers, and creepy rooms. Enter if you dare. Paper engineering and illustrations by Keith Mosley. These are really nice. The illustrations are very creepy, particularly for children's books. They're not as cartoony as a lot of other pop-up books, and the paper engineering, the actual pop-ups themselves, are really clever. So let's take a look at this. The Ghosts of Creepy Castle. Welcome to Creepy Castle. We'll begin our tour at the castle gates. Walk carefully on the drawbridge. It's not very sturdy. So here we have our tour guide, and he's giving a tour to these 5 tourists around the castle, watched by all of these spooky, creepy things. So our first pull tab, and there is the first of our tourists being captured and kidnapped and removed. So we're going to go from 5 down to 4. This was once the Great Hall. Many people believe this room has secret doors and passageways, but of course no one has ever found them. Continuing the tour here, do not lift. Well, I think we need to definitely lift that straight away then. And oh, it is a skeleton in there. Nice little pop-up. And our second pull tab. Whoop, and there is our fourth of the 4 tourists being kidnapped and removed into one of those secret passageways. I wonder what's going to happen to her. We're now down to 3 tourists left on the tour. Long ago, prisoners were kept in this dungeon. Local legend claims the ghosts of those prisoners still roam about the rooms. Watch your step. You can see we've got piles of bones down here. We've got a torture rack up here, and do not open. Well, no pop-up on this one, but we've got a ghostly phantom holding this executioner's axe here. And let's see, we've got 3 tourists. Now we're down to 2. So this guy is grabbed by one of the skeletons and he's a goner. The view from the tower is magnificent, don't you agree? But don't get too close to the windows, we wouldn't want to lose anyone. We've only got 2 guests left. Oh, and now we've only got 1. All that's left of her is a pair of glasses. She's been gotten by this phantom here. And we've got another do not lift, which of course means we're going to lift it. And there is a monster hiding in the fireplace. 1 guy left on the tour. Oh dear. We hope you enjoyed your tour of Creepy Castle, and please come back to visit us anytime. Oh dear. The tour guide who's been giving the tour is actually not a tour guide at all. He's one of the phantoms wearing this 3-dimensional mask. You can see here there's his true skeletal identity. And our final visitor, our final tourist, he's been gotten as well, dragged off into the depths of the castle, probably to become another ghost. I hope you enjoyed that little tour through Creepdom, and if you did, it might be worth you picking up one of these creepy tomes. We'll be back next time with a look at one of these other pop-up books. But until then, please remember, like, subscribe, and put a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, especially if you know of any other spooky pop-up books that you could recommend to me. I'll be all ears. Well, I would be if mine hadn't rotted off.